welcome. This is so exciting. It is a pleasure to have everyone here for our Spring Linings virtual benefit.
Silver linings.
Silver linings, what did I say? Spring linings? It is that too. It's also spring. Silver linings virtual benefit. So listen, the medieval Jewish poet and philosopher Judah Halevi famously wrote, Libi b'mizrach v'anochi sof ba'arav. My heart is in the east, though I am in the farthermost west. Tonight, our hearts are with our brothers and sisters in the land of Israel, who once again find themselves under the threat of terrorist rockets. They are bravely doing what they need to do to protect themselves. And we pray for a quick resolution to the fighting so that everyone, Israeli and Palestinian, can be safe and secure, and God willing, find a path to peace. Thankfully, Judaism is a tradition that teaches us to hold the bitter with the sweet, to recognize that our cups overflow with blessings as we face challenges, that even in the face of adversity, we count our blessings. And so we celebrate tonight. We celebrate our congregation and all of the silver linings that we have created together over this past year. And what a year it has been. You know, just 1 year ago, we had to cancel our benefit. We were in a very different world. We didn't know what was going on, and we had to cancel. And this year, we are having a benefit, and in a moment, Emily Cohen is going to tell you just how successful this benefit is already, which is truly unbelievable. But what we've learned going from having to cancel the benefit to this moment now, where we have had an incredible congregation all year, so much of it taking place right here on Zoom, we know all of the silver linings that we can count. So with that, it is my pleasure to welcome Emily Cohen, president of our congregation and my partner in hosting tonight's festivities. Emily, so much was online this year. Tell us, what were some of your favorites, or if you had to pick, what was your favorite online moment of the year? And please don't talk about all of the times I forgot to mute myself.
Or unmute yourself. I won't. So thank you, Rabbi Goldsmith. Thank you, everyone. This is so exciting, so much fun. I cannot believe we are pulling this off. We're together, and it's just extraordinary. So my highlight, true highlight for our year of Zoom was our Purim Spiel and Shabbat service. I think we all came together with good senses of humor, good spirit. We had costumes. We made fun of ourselves. We just really celebrated the incredible community that we are. And that was an extraordinary Zoom success. And then to top that, or at least compare to it, we just had an unbelievable mitzvah Shabbat in the parking lot. So we went from a Purim Spiel on Zoom, which was wonderful, mitzvah Shabbat in the parking lot, which was really, what were we, 100, close to 100 people in the parking lot doing acts of loving kindness, celebrating our community once again, and sharing our good riches and silver linings with those in need in our community.
Fabulous. Certainly two true highlights. I got to tell you, and one of my online highlights, if not my online highlight for this whole year, has actually been the 5 or 10 minutes before Shabbat services begin. Some of us who were on the benefit a little bit early got a little taste of it. But it was the banter of everybody before the service began. Being with one another, like in one another's homes, being able to notice small changes or where people were sitting or other people who were joining them for that service. There was such a real warmth that came across the Zoom screen in those moments. The services weren't too bad either, but in those few minutes before the services began, we really got a real sense of warmth over something as dry as a computer. Was there anything that you found particularly inspiring this year, Emily? Because I know that a lot of us were busy looking for meaning and inspiration amidst what was real challenge. So what inspired you this year?
I was inspired by our Beit Midrash program, where a loyal group of us met on periodic Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings, led so capably by you. And I think we kept you on your toes. We challenged you, we challenged each other, and just had a great time studying Torah and learning more about our tradition and the current lens of Reform Judaism. So that, along with the women's study group, of course, because that is such a special group of women. And we got to welcome our new director of education, Naomi Fabes, to the women's study group this January for our retreat. And that was a real highlight for me. I see lots of hands waving for Naomi.
You know, I always say that for every one thing I learn about Judaism, I realize there's 3 or 4 things I don't know. And so preparing for all of those Beit Midrash sessions really reminded me of that, because every one thing I learned in order to teach, I recognized just how much more there was to learn. And so one of the blessings of Judaism is that there's always more to learn, and it's wonderful to lead that teaching here at the congregation. I think for me, what was most inspiring was truly our membership. The fact that our membership levels stayed steady. We gained some new members. We had more participation this year than ever before in our services, in our programs, in our religious school, in our Hebrew school. Really incredible. The wonderful programs put together by Jane Dubrow that really helped to sustain so many of us through these difficult days were just unbelievable. And donations went up. And I know that donations are surely not the only measurement of success, but it certainly feels good to know all of the incredible support that we have from the whole congregation. So speaking of donations, Emily, would you tell us how are we doing on this benefit?
I am just, if I could find Larry Cohen, I would like to see his hat fly off, assuming he's wearing a hat, because it is my absolute pleasure to announce that hot off the presses to this moment, this benefit, this virtual gathering of our incredible community has raised $100,500. Truly, I'm just, thank you. Yes. Incredible. And that is due, yes, thank you for raising a glass, Bill. That is due to your incredible generosity, support, commitment. And on top of that, Howard, the auction so far, there are some bidding wars going on, which I'm enjoying watching. The auction so far has raised almost $8,000. So please visit that auction website. The link is on, the rabbi just put it in the chat box. It's also on the temple website on the benefit homepage, and we're keeping it open until the 20th. Winners will be announced on the 21st. So please, we have incredible opportunities, experiences, hike with the rabbi, have a play date with Naomi's adorable dog Malamar, Tampa Bay Rays experience, so much going on to bid on. So please do participate, and also take the opportunity to support one of our Silver Linings programs. Visit the website and you'll see, and reach out to me or the rabbi if you have any questions.
Wonderful. Well, I'm going to zip us ahead here because we are already falling behind our very carefully planned run of show.
Oh, no.
I was threatened with unspeakable things if we were to fall too far behind. So we are going to tonight, over the course of the evening, enjoy some reflections from congregants and testimonials about the role that the synagogue has played for them over the course of the year. And we're going to kick it off with Vice President of our congregation, Mai Wickstrom, and with Matt and Lindsay Kraut. Please enjoy.
I am incredibly grateful for our Emanu-El community this past year more than ever. Our temple has been one of the few constants during a year of upheaval, uncertainty, anxiety, and loss. During a year of isolation and separation, I knew Emanu-El was there. that I could draw on the strength of others when I needed to and give what I could in return. I knew I was not alone. I knew I could rely on you to show up for Shabbat services, book clubs, writing workshops, and a whole host of engaging programming. This community was there to pray, worship, and study, but perhaps more importantly, to connect, to share challah recipes and hiking trails, but also all the grief, fear, and joy of this year. We were and are present for one another, and that has been a unique blessing. From the bottom of my heart, I thank each and every one of you, because that knowledge has made all the difference. It has helped me walk the narrow bridge and not be too afraid.
Congregation Emanu-El has really been a cornerstone for our family and the community over the last year. Rabbi Goldsmith, Cantor Stone, the entire faculty and board members wanted to ensure not only the safety of our families, but to promote unity as we all had to navigate the chaos of the world. While dealing with their own personal situations around COVID, they went out of their way to try and make each family know that they are there for them.
We felt we always could lean on the temple as a guiding light to find ways to bring us together while distancing us apart. And know that there will be something greater when we all return in person. Whether it was the education of our children, navigating what our daughter's bat mitzvah would look like, to the fun things like single malt Torah, the Purim bags, or drive-through services. We really appreciate all the little things that were really a big deal.
Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Matt, for those thoughtful and meaningful reflections. As Howard mentioned earlier, we were supposed to be together in person last year to celebrate his 10th anniversary with us as rabbi. We unfortunately, nice Margie, we unfortunately had to postpone that, and we will celebrate our rabbi when we are together at some point in person. And last year, we were going to, on behalf of the Rabbinic Search Committee, present the rabbi with something special. So it is now my pleasure to invite Bruce Fryer, a wonderful congregant, former president and co-chair of the Rabbinic Search Committee, to present Howard with a special tribute.
Good evening. My name is Bruce Fryer, for those who may not know me. Along with Michael Granoff as my co-chair, and a committee consisting of Dick Hecht, Jim Kornreich, Michael Dubin, Cheryl Kay, Dan Chesler, Edgar Masinter, Susan Amkraut, Amy Schulhoff, Lynn Wallitzer, and Emily Cohn, we composed the Rabbinic Search Committee that brought Rabbi Goldsmith to our congregation on the retirement of Rabbi Dan Woke. That process took place 11 years ago this coming June. However, back in the spring of 2020, as we were preparing for the gala of that year, we as a committee decided to honor Rabbi Goldsmith on his 10th anniversary as rabbi of our congregation by presenting to him a work of art by the pop artist Michael Albert. This piece of collage art had been prompted by Rabbi Goldsmith's love of the phrase from the book of Leviticus, "Love your neighbor as yourself." The actual piece had been initiated at a family learning Shabbat by the religious school students and their parents, and then was completed by the artist himself. It was our feeling that this collage would be a fitting tribute from the Rabbinic Search Committee to present to Rabbi Goldsmith on his 10th anniversary. Now jump ahead to today and the fact that our gala in 2020 never took place due to the pandemic. We are now assembled for this year's gala on what is Rabbi Goldsmith's 11th anniversary with Congregation Emanu-El of Westchester. Nevertheless, It is with a great deal of love and devotion that we, as the Rabbinic Search Committee, take this opportunity now to present to our rabbi, on the occasion of his 10th anniversary with us, this collage. We pray that the sentiment expressed in the art will be a constant reminder of our rabbi who, over the past 10, now 11 years, brought the meaning and love of Judaism to our congregational family. Congratulations, Howard, and may we grow together from strength to strength.
Well, that is truly touching. I can't. I purposely didn't listen to that ahead of time because I wanted to react kind of in the moment, and it was I should have listened ahead of time so I could have come up with something that would match the feelings that I have. You know, what's incredible about that piece is that it takes very contemporary things. It uses packaging, commercial packaging from food, in order to come together and craft one of the most profound statements that we find in our sacred text: love thy neighbor as thyself. And I think that that's what I try to do for our congregation, is to take the world around us as it is and to help us understand it as Jewish. It's usually not as extreme as taking packaging or the R from a Hershey's container and turning it into sacred text. But it's important work, and I can't imagine a better group of people or a better congregation to help make Judaism relevant in our world, to take what is contemporary, to take what is personal in our lives, and to make it sacred. So thank you to the search committee for donating that beautiful piece in my honor. And thank you to all of the religious school families who helped to create it. And thank you to the congregation for the continued opportunity to serve. It is a true honor. Okay, now that we did something serious, we get to do something a little bit fun and silly. So I want to ask everybody to please reach into your bags that you were delivered, and there you will find game boards. You will find game boards. I need to do a quick costume change. Okay. If you see this jacket, then you know it is time for bingo. Bingo with a rabbi, but this is going to be a little bit different than regular bingo. We are not going to be spinning a big cage and pulling out numbers like B13, the bar mitzvah ball, or B18, high. Instead, we are going to be playing something of a human bingo, specifically around Congregation Emanu-El of Westchester. So in this cup here, I have all those little squares. And what I need you to do is when I call one out, if it is true for you, and you have it, you should mark it off. There are 3 game boards because we are going to play 3 games, and there is actually a prize involved. Let me show you the prize so you can get very excited. We have, just for tonight, we're going to play 3 rounds, and what we have are these fabulous Congregation Emanu-El of Westchester tote bags. That's right, you can use them to bring your siddur to shul. Not sure what to do with that umbrella if it's going to rain? Put it in the tote bag. Bring it to the temple. Bring it to carry flowers to your favorite neighbor or to your favorite rabbi or cantor. You can see it is an incredibly fashionable accessory for whoever wins. So please, we hope that you win this fabulous tote bag, model not included. Okay, now here's the deal. You can only win if you unmute yourself and say bingo. Okay, that's the deal. So again, I'm going to pull out a little piece of paper. For example, I hope you all have your first game board ready. And on this piece of paper, the perfect one. This piece of paper says, fallen asleep during services. So if you have ever fallen asleep during services, look at your game board, just the first one, and mark it off. Now, if you've never fallen asleep during services, don't mark it off. That would be cheating. Okay, so falling asleep during service. We're going for regular bingo here, this first round. So that is a line, a horizontal line, a vertical line, or a diagonal. If you have fallen asleep during services, mark that off on game board number 1. Okay, number 2. If you have been a member for over 25 years, if you're a member of Congregation Emanu-El of Westchester for over 25 years, please mark that off on your first game board. Okay, here we go. Number 3, third square you could mark off. If you contributed to an Emanu-El capital campaign, go ahead and mark that off on your first game board. Perhaps you participated in the dollar for dollar match that we had last year, or the 50 for 50. Then you contributed to one of our capital campaigns. They go back over 10 years, so mark it if you got it. Remember, you need to, if you win, you have to unmute yourself and say, bingo. And if you're unmuted already, remember, we can hear you. Adam and Margie, we can hear you. Okay, now here is the next square for your first game board. Joined when Rabbi Wolk was the senior rabbi. If you joined Congregation Emanu-El of Westchester when it was under the leadership of the fabulous Dan Wolk, go ahead and mark that square. Okay, now someone has the potential to win now. It's possible. If you have, because this is the 5th one, so if you've got a row going, or a column going, or a diagonal going, and you did this thing, you might finish. Here we go. Been to a Purim carnival. If you have been to a Purim carnival at Congregation Emanu-El of Westchester, mark that square. Mark that square. Okay, remember, if you have bingo, you got to unmute to tell us. Next, here we go. If you cannot wait to get back in the building, go ahead and mark that square. Cannot wait to get back in the building. Okay, let's see how some folks are doing here. Adam and Margie, unmute yourself. Tell us, how are you guys doing? Are you close? Yeah, you're close. You're muted. I can't hear you. But I saw a thumbs up, so that's exciting.
One left.
One left. Adam, is it?
It is.
Is it? Oh, I know that you did this. I don't know if it's in the right spot. Logged on for programs during the pandemic. Not in the right spot. Wah, wah, wah. Well, mark it off because you never know. It might work next time. Okay, let's mute you guys again. You're fabulous, but we heard you already. Okay, let's check in. Susan Amkraut, how are you doing? Unmute yourself. Tell us how you're doing. Are you close?
2 to go.
Okay, well, this one does not apply to you. This is joined when Rabbi Goldsmith was the senior rabbi. If you joined when Rabbi Goldsmith was the senior rabbi, go ahead and mark that on your card.
Not me.
Oh, was that a bingo? Did someone say bingo? No? Oh, Lois and Brian, we heard you. Okay, Lois and Brian, let's see if this one applies to you. Oh, I know this one applies to you. If you are one of those fabulous people that does the cantor's hand motions for prayers, go ahead and mark that square. If you like to roll into dark and roll into light, if you believe peace like a river, go ahead and mark that square. Do we have bingo? If you get a bingo, make sure that you yell bingo. You have to unmute yourself or we won't hear you. Okay, let's see. You know, on my screen, right next to Lois and Brian are Jill and Sam.
I didn't know they called it though.
Okay, we can hear you. Whoever is talking right now, I'm not sure who that is. But Jill and Sam, I know that you traveled to Israel with Emanu-El. So you should mark that on your card, and anyone else who traveled to Israel with Emanu-El, go ahead and mark that on your card. Okay, any bingos out there? Ooh, this is harder than I thought. Okay, we might modify the plan. Ah, this is a nice one. I'm not sure. I don't know who has this. I haven't been to enough of your homes. Here we go. If you have a picture taken in the temple on display in your home, if you have a picture taken at the temple on display in your home, Cliff and Allison are debating. Did we keep that photo from the bar mitzvah? I'm not sure. Wait, Cliff, why did you put it in a drawer? I told you to leave it out. Okay.
Yeah, mine is in a drawer.
Yours is in a drawer, Sandy. Okay. But do you have bingo? That's the question. No bingo yet?
No, I don't either.
No, not bingo yet. Okay, here we go. Oh, lots of people have done this. I know lots of people who have done this. If you have eaten a Hershey's Kiss from my office, go ahead and mark that. Oh, Margie McCabe is very excited.
We didn't do
I
that.
know lots of Hershey Kisses get eaten out of there. And I know it's not me because the big secret is I don't like Hershey Kisses.
I know.
Otherwise, I couldn't keep them in that office. Forget about it. Okay, here we go. Next is if you live within half a mile of another temple member, go ahead and mark your card.
Yeah, I do that.
We know, Sandy, you are unmuted. You are just ready to yell bingo.
Hey, we're ready too.
Okay. Okay, any bingos yet?
Nope.
Nope. I don't know who said nope, but I love it. Okay, here we go. Who am I seeing? Aha, I see Hetty and Michael. This applies to them. If you have a child, or in their case, children, who was a confirmand, go ahead and mark your card. Go ahead and mark your card. Okay. Do we have bingo? Lois and Brian, I'm going to mute you because we hear your whole conversation. And it's
He didn't
fabulous.
say anything.
Okay. No bingo yet. Wow. We're not going to play 3 rounds of this because that would take all night and no one's that interested. Okay, here we go. If this past year you went to the Hanukkah drive-thru at the temple.
Bingo!
Bingo!
Oh,
No.
Bingo!
whoa. Okay.
Bingo!
Okay. It sounds like we might need to start ordering more tote bags. Okay. So first I see MJ and Rick. MJ and Rick, tell us what was in your bingo.
Contributed to an Emanu-El campaign. Cannot wait to get back into the building. Lives within half a mile of a temple member. Traveled to Israel with Emanu-El. Went to the Hanukkah drive-thru at the temple.
Mazel tov! You win an Emanu-El tote bag.
Same for us. We had the exact same ones.
I
Exact
had the
same one.
exact same one.
And Sandy had the
me
exact
too.
Sandy. You would bingo also with those same ones?
Yep.
Yes,
Mhm.
she did.
too.
Okay,
So
I
does
need to
Talia.
know.
Talia has bingo and I do. We have a double bingo in the Goldsmith house and it's not cheating.
Well, we
Ooh.
might need to invest in some more tote bags. Okay, so we've got Goldsmiths and MJ and Rick and Susan and Steve and Sandy. Is that right?
My
Yeah.
from
And
my
my.
Yeah,
My, what do you have?
contributed to an Emanu-El capital campaign. Cannot wait to get back into the building. Lives within a half mile of a temple member. Traveled
Oh,
to
it's
Israel with
the same.
Emanu-El. Went to Hanukkah drive-thru at the temple.
That sounded like more than 5. You're
Yeah,
like
we-
you're an overachiever. I love
We had
it.
that one too. We both had that one too, I think.
Yeah.
You have that one too, Talia? Excellent. Okay, you know what? We have our winners. I think we have our winners. I think that we can call. I just want to know by a show of hands. By a show of hands, you can raise it actually or virtually. Or if you want, you can do an anonymous thing somehow, if you can figure that out. Who has fallen asleep during services? There we go. Look at all these honest people.
I'm hiding
I
my.
love it. I love it. Okay, we're going to work hard to make sure
It
you
was
do not.
during your service.
Oh, not during my service. Thank you, Jamie. So gracious. I love it. I love it. I love it. I've almost fallen asleep. I haven't actually, but I have almost. I'll put it out there. Okay, fabulous. Wonderful. Well, after that fabulous game with those fabulous prizes, of which we're going to have to order more, we're going to move on now to our next set of testimonials. So if you give me 1 second to get those teed up here. Here we go. Okay, so these testimonials come from Bonnie Shire, the Marins, and the Rosemans. Here we go. Enjoy.
Hi, my name is Bonnie Shire, and I would like to share some of the reasons that Congregation Emanu-El has been a real silver lining for me during this last year. Of course, it's been a difficult year for everyone. As many of you know, I lost my husband Henry in October, which made it even worse. Between my very good friends, many of whom I've met through Congregation Emanu-El, and the love and support of our wonderful rabbi, my journey was made a lot easier, or perhaps as easy as it could be under the circumstances. And I have great appreciation for the dear friends and the wonderful community that I have at Congregation Emanu-El. So looking forward to better things in the future, and from strength to weakness and back to strength, we pray. So congratulations to the congregation on reaching this milestone, to Howard on celebrating the first anniversary of your 10th anniversary, and I hope that we will share many more good years together. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Abby Brown, and I've been at Congregation Emanu-El since the 4th grade. This past year, I was a Madrahim and attended Academy. At first, it was hard to adjust to the social distancing and Zoom sessions, but I think we all adapted to the situation very well. We listened to amazing speakers on Zoom as part of Academy, and I learned so much about Jewish history. I felt like a part of the congregation and felt more encouraged to be involved in the Jewish community. My favorite experience this year was singing during the high holiday services. Cantor Stone asked me to sing Oseh Shalom in a very unusual way, recorded in my bedroom with an iPhone. I felt very proud watching the services from home. It was truly an unusual experience. Overall, I am so happy and grateful to be part of such an amazing congregation. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Roseman.
I'm Eric Roseman.
And we are so thrilled to have found Congregation Emanu-El of Westchester. It's become a spiritual home for our family, our 2 children, Charlotte and Jack, and all of us just feel so at home and feel that it was the perfect match.
And we're thrilled to be part of the community, and we're looking forward to a lot of great times to come.
Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you, Abby. Truly, you mentioned another highlight. That Oseh Shalom video is one for the record books. And thank you, Eric and Rebecca. Congratulations, bingo winners. And it is now my pleasure to introduce Cantor Stone and her husband for a special, her husband Martin, for a special musical performance. Cue it up, Rabbi. There's our model.
Take 500.
There's a Hebrew phrase, this too.
Sorry.
Take 500.
There's a Hebrew phrase, this too shall pass. We hope that this specially requested song captures that sentiment.
This song, though, isn't going to pass unless you help us out. As you know, nothing in life is free, and tonight you've got to sing for your supper. We're doing a tune called Keep on the Sunny Side, and we'd like you to join us on the chorus. So we're going to sing through the chorus, and hope you get the gist of it. 1, 2, 3.
Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help us every day. It will brighten all the way. And keep on the sunny side of life.
Got it? Okay, here we go.
There's a dark and a troubled side of life. There's a bright and a sunny side.
I will listen to the country music. 67, 62.
The sunny side also may keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help us every day. It will brighten all the way if we keep on the sunny side of life. Well, a storm in its fury broke today. crushing hopes that we cherish so dear. Clouds and storms when time has away. The sun again will shine bright and clear. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help us every day. It will brighten all the way. If we keep on the sunny side of life.
Meredith, we'll be right back. And here she is.
For the first time in
2,
40
3.
years.
Quick change. Number 2, 2, 3.
Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help us every day. It will brighten all the way. If we keep on the sunny side of life. If we keep on the sunny side of life.
Woohoo! Okay, everyone, please join me in a big round of applause. If you're in your box, do a circle like this. Just fabulous. Thank you so much, Cantor Stone and Martin, for that wonderful, just wonderful. And that fiddle. Cantor Stone has promised me that she is going to accompany Vonda on Kol Nidre on that fiddle.
No
Wait.
fiddle, violin.
Okay, just wonderful. Hey, if you have not yet had a chance to check out the auction, please do. There are still some fabulous items there. It is doing a great job raising additional funds for the congregation. But remember that checking out the auction, you're going to find stuff that's not just in support of the congregation. You're going to find stuff for you. So you can make this about you, which is also fun. So there's lots of good stuff there. Please do take a moment and find something nice to get for yourself and support the synagogue at the same time. There's a new kind of item on the auction this year, actually, called the Silver Lining Support, where you can help to support something at the congregation for the coming year. So if Vonda, for example, is a favorite of your High Holiday experience, you can go there and support us bringing her in. Or perhaps you love the mums that decorate our bima on the High Holidays. You can make a contribution to help in support of those mums. Although I'm not sure what mums are going to look like on Labor Day. But we'll investigate and find out, and somehow or another, we will have mums again when we are back together. Okay, we are going to move into the next testimonial for the evening, and that testimonial by the fabulous Amy Lindsay is going to be followed by a montage of life at the congregation this past year, including some wonderful, darling pictures from B'nai Mitzvah, as well as some other wonderful temple activities from the past, let's call it 14 months or so. So I hope that you enjoy this testimonial, followed by the montage.
Nothing about this last year was normal, let's face it, nothing. Or so I thought when I sat down to compose this love letter to our temple. But in fact, services still went on as usual, giving me structure and a good reason to brush my hair. And the same people were still there most weeks, albeit in teeny tiny little boxes. Our clergy and staff's many continued lessons of warmth, spirituality, and humor were still on display, literally on display, and in new and inventive ways. Our women's retreat in a bag, the bomb. Surprisingly, I still found the temple a place to go, to learn, to greet folks, to find out who needed a healing thought, to laugh, sing, cry, celebrate, grieve, take refuge, you know, the usual. Actually, when it came right down to it, I've kind of felt luckier than ever, indeed blessed, to be a member of our extended Emanu-El family, even from home, maybe particularly from home. Ultimately, I realized that while there are many ways to stay connected, Emanu-El's superpower, it's our community. Our temple family helped a good many things stay as normal as possible in a year that was anything but. When Jews finish each book of the Torah, it's customary to say, Hazak, Hazak, V'nit Hazek, be strong, and we shall be strengthened. I'm sure you'll all agree that Congregation Emanu-El has played a vital role in helping us reach the end of this COVID chapter together and stronger than ever. Love you guys.
What fun that was to see. Thank you, Amy. Thank you to all who submitted those photos. And Rabbi, I think it's now appropriate. You and I have had all the fun, right? This has been our pleasure, but there's been a very hardworking committee behind the scenes making all of this possible. So I would like to raise my glass of Prosecco to the benefit committee chaired by Adam Blinderman, all the way from Boca Raton, Florida, Patty Bottomley, Hetty Cardozo, Bruce Fryer, Matt Kraut. Did I say Peggy Locastro? No, Peggy Locastro, Leslie Mook, all the way from Colorado, Josh Nachman, Michael Rosenblut, Jill Shepard, Mai Wickstrom, MJ Wolf, and then staff members, of course, because we wouldn't be who we are without our hardworking staff. Denise Eisler, Jamie Valeri, Abby Levitt, and Dan O'Connor. So please join me in toasting our hardworking committee, and thank you for making all of this possible. Cheers.
L'chaim. L'chaim. I cannot be more grateful, not only for the incredible community, a little snapshot of which we just saw in that beautiful montage, and not only for the incredible amount of money that we have managed to raise in this virtual benefit, but for what it signifies. It signifies a community that cares. We're here for each other. We're here for you. And as long as that is the case, this community will indeed, chazak, chazak, v'ni chazek, we will indeed continue to sustain and to strengthen one another. I want to close this evening's festivities with one more surprise video that is not, in fact, on our run of show, Emily, so you're probably wondering what it was. But really one of the most touching parts of the high holidays that I think truly is worthy of a reprise. So here we go.
Shalom
fabulous, Rabbi. A great surprise. What a way to close our wonderfully fun evening. And that was Abby Marone in the lead, and along with Maddie Newman. So really, so special to see our teens and all of our congregants and the Goldsmith children in their headphones outdoors. That's a highlight for me.
Absolutely. Listen, may those prayers for peace be answered speedily. May we find some peace and quiet very soon across the ocean, and may all of us continue to find a sense of wholeness and peace on our own and together as a family, as a congregational family. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you, everyone.